Florida.
And that's when I told the Orion. Never mind, wrong channel.
Hello.
Hello. Just in time. Cool, and the gang, so that should be everybody, except of course for the one that said they're going to be late.
Except for the captain.
Except for the captain.
That means Vibers is in charge.
Tell us what to do, Vibus.
Second star to the right and straight on till morning.
We are
Right,
not
so
going to Never Never Land
Woohoo!
again. It's been banned by
My
Starfleet.
favorite place.
So we're just gonna forget about the Tolans and the fact that they almost had the whole conference.
We probably should finish that off.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say I thought you were going to say we probably should forget it.
If they wanted to have a conference, they shouldn't keep blowing it up.
No, honey, this is not you viewing an entertainment.
So the conference hall was an inside job. Okay.
Their own fault. And if they were going to blow it up, then they should have used better explosives. I mean, we have about 20 explosives that could have done the port nacelle alone, don't we, Vibers?
I can neither confirm nor deny the presence of large amounts of explosives and antimatter torpedoes sat around the center of the Bifrost drive.
Hell are you doing putting explosives near a dark matter torus?
Give it more boost.
The idea is when it goes wrong, let's blow it up before it destroys the whole quadrant.
Ah. Okay, that frighteningly actually sounds like a smart idea.
I mean, I was going to say it's safer to keep them there than the port nacelle.
The
Well,
port
yes.
nacelle's the center of the Bifrost drive.
The port nacelle is everywhere. It just travels.
We're just calling it the port nacelle out of habit. It's no longer on the port side.
It's actually Starfleet's biggest secret. It's not that every ship has a port nacelle. Starfleet only has one port nacelle. It's just on every ship.
And you're not supposed to look at it, otherwise the wave function will collapse and then only one ship will have a port nacelle.
Why do you think the Klingons only ever board us on the starboard bow?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
this is going into some weird territory here. Okay.
But this would be a really good time for a alternate universe episode.
Yeah, where the deadly stuff is kept in the starboard nacelle.
And then you mustn't let either the port nacelle or the starboard nacelle ever meet on the same ship, otherwise... Yeah, okay, I get you.
Imagine the ship with
Alternate
the
universe. The entire crew live in the port nacelle. It's the only place that's safe.
No, we need to go to the mirror universe and steal their starboard nacelle and put it on the other side of the ship, so we have the port nacelle and the starboard nacelle. What could go wrong?
But then I'd need Nova to be chief engineer, because no one else can look at them without their brains melting.
Okay, but Nova needs a goatee if we're doing this mirror universe thing.
Sean, your mission,
Yeah.
should you choose to accept it, is to remake your token with a sinister goatee.
No, we can do the Red Dwarf thing. Alternate version mirrors dog. Not a cat girl.
I think instead of a goatee, just very butchy eyebrows.
Where a
promotion.
universe Ori is celibate. Well.
Well, I guess in that case, mirror universe Bertram is all about animal-based technology. Can't stand those greens.
Well, no, he's so contemptuous of anything but vegetable life. He experiments on.
That means he'll actually be having the affair that we've been joking about in the ultimate reality.
Oh, let's not go nuts.
He'll actually have an interest.
Probably
in
experimented on poor Jenny Eric and is taking over the crew slowly but sure. What am I doing? This is not tonight's episode. No, we're going to be here all night if we talk about. Jeez.
I mean, it could be the tonight's episode.
Could be. Tonight we're going for a brief sojourn into the mirror universe. We just basically discuss all the weird and freaky stuff that goes on.
Yeah, professionally done.
Right, so that seems like most of you are in Foundry now. Looking good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the last one just loaded in. Nice, nice, nice. Can I confirm that everybody who wants to be connected to Sirenscape is connected and can hear what's going on?
Aye.
Yes.
Excellent. In that case, I will turn off Sirenscape, just when you got used to listening to it. And I will turn off the ship rumble so that I can take us ever so briefly to the intro video, and we will be back momentarily, folks. Don't go away. No, seriously, don't go away. No, I see you getting out of your chair. Stop it.
Damn it!
Hello folks, and welcome back to the continuing adventures of the USS Navis. I am MJ, the GM, and I shall be your games master for the next couple of hours, and with me are the majority of the Navis crew.
Finally got rid of the captain.
People
Now
we have
Vibus
a
is the
rebellion.
captain.
I've got to be in charge again.
And
Fair
again
enough.
and again till you deem fit to re-enter society.
Never
Okay.
again, then.
First order of business, we're repainting sickbay purple.
Well, I guess I'm decommissioning him for medical reasons, because clearly he's insane. Nova, you're the captain now.
Actually, I've seen some of the pictures that Sean just posted, so I might go with the one with the glasses that say badass, actually. But or the goggles
I
being
love the
down.
goatee.
I like how the goatee's just scribbles.
Captain time.
Ah, heck, she's got power tools. Anyway, sorry, this is for people who aren't seeing what's going on Discord right now. Just trust me, it's really funny. Anyway, moving quickly along. Yes, last week, of course, we didn't have our Chief Helm officer, so we're going to have to must do a summary for him, as we are for everybody else who is tuning in with us right now. So, as quickly as I can. Last time, the Navis was called to the planet Tolen, where the native inhabitants are having something of a clash of ideals, shall we say. One half of the population, represented mostly by the government, want to stay in the Federation, maybe renegotiate their terms of membership so they can have a bit more influence, whereas there are others on the planet who want to secede from the Federation, and they want to be an entirely independent world and basically get by on their own merits. Now, this planet is rich in resources, not the least of which is dilithium, so they do have something that everybody wants, which is more than likely why the Federation sent the Navis along to try and not only act as a neutral party to mediate the dispute, but also the two sides had agreed to hold a summit in order to basically hash out their differences, to see if they could hash out their differences and see if there could be some kind of consensus or deal reached. whatever. But the crew of the Navis was brought on in order to basically provide security for the conference and to make sure that it all goes well, especially since the tempers that have been flaring over this whole division between the two sides threatens the potential for civil war. But, of course, we want to stay away from that as much as we possibly can. That was made somewhat difficult by the fact that somebody that seemed to be the man in charge of the Unionist government, whom I shall remind myself of who that appeared to be momentarily. The Parak, that's right, Parak Verens Joffes. The Parak is the title of the person in charge of the, well, basically at the moment, the Unionist government. And the Parak's assistant, Avad Chivis, appeared to use some sort of device for getting through the transport inhibitors that have been set up in order to secure the conference hall against intrusion. And somebody transported a bomb into the conference hall and tried to blow it all up, and everybody who was in it. Thankfully, the crew of the Navis managed to act fast enough that they were able to transport the bomb back out of the protective shield set around the conference hall, and nobody was injured. What was last discovered, however, was that the fellow who had basically pulled a fast one and tried to kill everybody in the conference hall, he had been diagnosed with a terminal illness and saw this as a means of going out in a big way, or at least so it seemed. It turns out that somebody had paid Avad Chivis a great deal of money to basically blow up the conference, whilst giving his family, who will survive him, the money. And when it was discovered that this payment was to be made in Latinum, a great many suspicions started falling on the Ferengi, not exactly commerce minister, but there is a Ferengi individual, businessman, on the planet who is pretty well involved with a lot of the mining business that goes on the planet of Tolen IV. So it seems that the captain, at least, of the Navis suspects that the Ferengi might have something to do with what's going on.
Based off rules of acquisition 34 and 30. War is good for business, peace is good for business.
Indeed. So, with that in mind, the last thing we saw was that, one of the last things we established was that there is a representative from both sides of the movement, shall we say, of either staying with the Federation or leaving it. From the Unionist side, you have been given a security attaché by the name of Rol Bozic. Very much a Unionist, does not like the secessionists at all, thinks they're... Well, actually, no, doesn't think they're traitors, but isn't very fond of them. But in order to show fairness, you guys elected to have somebody from both sides help you investigate all of this and keep security. So from the secessionist side, we have Carlin Fess, who is the secessionist security, or the separatist security chief, as it were. And these two folks are just as keen to find out who really tried to bomb the conference as much as you are. So, sorry about that. It now comes down to investigating everything that's going on. So, I essentially pass it over to you guys. So, if there are any events that you need reminding of or clarification of, any points you've discovered thus far that you need me to remind you of, simply ask and I shall do so. Otherwise, I'm actually rather curious. In fact, I will take you to the conference room, which was, or the area just outside of the conference room, where you had elected to kind of make as an informal communications hub into all matters of security to do with the conference. So, Thazanan originally was not involved with that side of things, but now that the big explosion has happened, it's time he got brought in to have his say on what's going to go on. So, what would you guys like to do first? That was an awful lot of information I just threw at you guys in a very short space of time, so, you know, if you need clarification on anything.
If we try and scan any of the remains of the device from where we dumped it in orbit, see if we could get any additional information from it, I imagine.
Cool. As you can well imagine, the bomb is in many, many tiny, tiny pieces. What might serve you better is the fact that since you had it transported out of the conference hall and into space, you could always look at the transporter records, because then you will at least have a record of what it was when it was whole.
That's a very good point. Yeah, get a copy from the buffers.
Yep.
In that case, what I will do is...
And project it on the table if we can.
Let's bring Mr. Lechude in then, shall we?
Right, his best efforts.
Yes. So, Lechude was temporary operations officer whilst Nova was down on planet helping out with the security. Nova, I think, also volunteered to be attached to the Unionist security attaché. Am I remembering that right, Sean? Or am I getting the wrong end of the stick on that one?
I know I was part of the I was representing the Separatists.
Yeah, you were tagged to the Separatist security operative. I don't remember who was attached to the Unionist one.
It might have been Keval.
Either way, the that whole notion of being attached to someone as a result of just maintaining security and openness with both sides has kind of taken second fiddle now to the investigation as to who was actually responsible for the bombing. So let's bring Mr. Lechude in. Okay, so if we want to actually recall...
Did we get Lechude looking at the transport inhibitors, or was that Stevens? I think it might have been Stevens looking into those, so it would be quite good to get Stevens to give a report on what she's found from that as well.
Okay, that's no problem. It was a simple question of somebody, more than likely this Avad Chivis fellow, who you have interrogated. You could always question him again if you need to. Avad Chivis had set up some device where he attached some kind of inhibitor to the transport inhibitors, and they were all keyed off of the device he held in his hand. So when he activated it, he essentially disabled all the transport inhibitors at the same time. So it was essentially just your basic case of sabotage. As for what Mr. Lechude brings up, bringing up the records of the from the transporter buffer is no problem whatsoever. That's a minor action, has no possibility of failure. So we assume that Lechude comes in and delivers the information, brings up the record of the explosive device, and can now load it into the computer system here for anybody who wants to examine it. Lechude, seeing no need to stick around any more than he has already, just delivers the data, walks out again. So, yes.
I was thinking, like, would Edwards be able to get anything from it?
What was that, sorry?
I'm wondering, it might be more of a Vibers to get decent information from it.
Anybody who has got any kind of applicable science knowledge could have a good, at least a look. You're talking about something that's not only made out of engineering bits. You're more than likely looking at somebody who needs to look at it from a chemical point of view as well, or a mineralogical point of view, in order to get a handle on what was used to create the explosives. So,
Lieutenant Ori?
Metallurgy. Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes.
cool.
Yes, I'm a member of Starfleet.
Yes, I'm still here.
You're also our lead science officer. Anything to report or any investigations you've been looking at on this?
So, if you want to have a look at the data that was inside of that the transporter buffer managed to put together, you can have a good old look at the chemical and mineralogical composition of the device, which will require a reason and science check. Anybody who wants to help can use things like reason and engineering for similar. Finally, crap.
Okay. Can I use computers as a...
Since you're certainly looking at a computer model of what happened, yeah, I'll go with that.
Excellent.
Edwards is assisting. Nice, nice, nice. Doesn't Edwards now have a thing, a talent with assisting? Or is that something? Yes, you can do assistant.
Yes, I can re-roll it if I choose. I think I'm good.
Yep, you're good. You rolled a 10. 2 successes from Ori as well, so overall, well done. 1 point of momentum. Okay, so the device came back as actually fairly basic. It was an explosive with a remote trigger. The remote trigger used a very, very simple subspace wavelength to communicate in order to set it off, which you can corroborate very easily was attached to the device that Avad Chivis had in his hand at the time. It wasn't very complicated at all. The explosive was Triceron based, which is not uncommon. However, Triceron is a controlled substance, and you would therefore need to gain access to it in some fashion, either black market, or if you're going to get it over more official channels, you need to make requests and inquiries.
There's something that someone very well versed in commerce would be able to potentially find quite easily.
Potentially. Roll Bozic, the Unionist security representative, pipes in at this point. Where Triceron explosives are used pretty predominantly in the mining industries, but on Tolen we regulate these things fairly heavily. So civilians, even those who are let me start that again. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my own words. Civilians have to apply for licenses, and explosives all have to be kept in secure facilities, so there can only be a handful of places that anybody would have gotten Triceron explosives from, at least on this planet.
I guess an audit and a visual check of the stocks is in order to see if any are missing.
Like I said, predominantly the mining industries are the ones that handle such explosives. At which point, I was going to say secessionist once again, which is technically right, but there's another word for it: separatist. Drawing on my inner Star Wars here. Separatist security, Khalid Fasta, speak up. Well, our Berengi friend, Parlatique, is head of a mining company, among other things. As for visual inspection, comes back Roll Bozic, that should be possible. Between myself and Miss Fess over there, we should have the authority between us to be able to conduct an official inspection. We just need to know where to look. Like I said, there are a good many, not a huge amount, but a good many licensed places that have to store these explosives.
If it's a controlled substance, do your people put any sort of markers in them?
Of course, they have to be tracked.
Right, can we... or is it possible to identify the markers in question out of the sample? Out of what was transported, if we're able to find out where it came from, that at least gives us a place to look.
Okie dokie.
Is it possible?
It is possible, absolutely.
I would think.
This is going to require some...
I would think it'd be possible.
This is going to require
Science.
some pretty good jiggery pokery in the name of science, exactly, but certainly
Let's do it.
possible.
Finally, I could use rapid hypothesis.
Well, yeah, it essentially means you're going to have to rebuild, maybe in a holographic sense, rebuild the bomb from the sensor scan you got. Well, not from the sensor scan, from the transporter log that you've got, in order to then create a 3D image, which you can then have a look for a serial number. So, anybody who wants to actually, hang on a second, I've just remembered, a certain somebody on this crew should have a focus on holography. Well, she did.
Would it
Never mind.
would it be possible? Oh, these tracers could. Isn't it possible they are chemical tracers as well?
Potentially. What were you thinking?
So, in a particular explosion, if you look at the effects of the explosion or the after effects of the explosion, you can pick up the chemical traces of the explosives that we used. And if there are specific chemical traces in that would associate a batch of explosives with a particular origin, then you can see which origin these explosives come from.
Sure, so combine that with a holographic recreation of the explosive device. Between the two of them, you might be able to narrow down pretty nicely where this explosive device might have come from. So it sounds like to me you've got two different tests here to go on to establish some more data. So, sounds like Ori is going to be using the computer to recreate the holographic duplicate of the explosive. If Thazanan wants to grab somebody to assist or actually do the chemical-related shenanigans, let's take us to the bridge. That's the best place to go to because we got access to all of our support characters there. Don't have to keep going back and forth to the conference room. So let's have our two. Actually, they're going to be standing apart from each other. So as you can see, during the whole security operation on the planet, we had Claught, who was placed in charge of the ship for a bit, but now that the captain's back.
Yeah, I think Claught should be between them, just in case.
Good point, actually, yes. Unit Hello was getting some experience at the tactical console. Lieutenant Turin and Lieutenant Lenny and Bravo of Stellar Cartography are no longer needed in their emergency shuttling capacity, since the conference has now been put on indefinite hold whilst this investigation goes on. So you guys are basically free to, well, ask for whoever you want. So let's just put all the supporting characters in a map together. You got Bravo, Chief Bravo of Security, we got Batik. We got Engineer Keth, who's been used an awful lot for things he has absolutely no experience in, so he's been...
We're trying to get him a bit more experience, justification for giving them stuff.
So we have folks up there temporary stations for now. But both Ori and Thazanan, if you want to gather any folks you think might be able to assist you with your respective projects, feel free to start doing so now.
Well,
What was that, Mike? Or are you going to have Ori go it alone? Not share.
oh no,
Ori.
gosh no. No.
He has staff, for heaven's sake. You.
There's
minion.
minions.
Well,
So, since the episode, shall we say, sorry to interrupt you there, Mike, but just to give you a heads up, since the episode with the holodeck on Halloween, Lieutenant Stevens has since abandoned her hobby with holography, so I'm afraid Danielle Stevens isn't available to have the focus of holography or holodeck programming anymore.
You know
so.
what? At some point, I want to swap out one of his focuses, foci. And I was thinking about holography because we've been working on holographic weapons, and I'd like him to get involved with that.
Well, let's have a look. You do still have two.
He never uses infectious diseases.
Yes, so this would be a good example of focuses that have fallen out of use. So let's see, what do we do with... If you want to change one of your character's foci, you spend a minor milestone. You still have 7 minor milestones you haven't used, so you may as well do it now.
Sweet, thank you. Just delete that, or do we change it? Okay.
So if you don't think you're getting any use out of infectious diseases, then yes, absolutely switch it.
Holography?
If you want to do holography, then... I mean, good God, can one imagine the type of holodeck programs that Lieutenant Ori will be programming into the entertainment suites?
I'm sure they'd be very wholesome.
All of them involving a hot tub.
Yes, they would.
Yes, holes.
Holes may or may not be involved. Sorry, that's me getting a bit PG-12 there.
So it turns out that everybody in the Navis crew hates chemistry. We don't have one chemist amongst us.
That nobody has a single focus in chemistry, so...
Well,
you
superior. Get rid of genetics. Or, you know, well, yeah.
Is this
Yeah,
sorry,
you're not wrong.
Is this I have to have this happen sometime in my past moment?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, you don't have to have the focus. You can just grab somebody who you think is good at science, because, you know, the science rating is assumed to be an all-round general thing. You definitely can both have, I mean, both Ori and Thazanan's tasks can both have the ship's computer help, so you'll get help from that either way. But if you're coming up short, then yes, there's always minor milestones, as we've just seen, that you can swap foci with. Or you can just go on the basic rating. Sorry, Mike, I keep talking over you.
Instant first has electrical engineering.
Mm-hmm. That could be very useful for recreating a bomb, absolutely.
Right.
Hurst is on your staff, so...
Yeah.
If you want to drag Kirst over
and
to...
someone with a good security.
Well, yeah, security wouldn't be a bad idea either. I mean, you've got Commander Bravo, you've got Ensign Natik, you've got Claude himself. There's also the captain. She's pretty damn good at security. I mean, you can't use Thazanan right now because he's doing his own thing.
Would the captain help us?
I imagine if the captain, if Webby were here, the captain would be good for helping.
I think Ori has a somewhat fear of her.
A healthy fear and respect for the captain.
Yes.
What
Yes.
about? So you want Mono, which is a good choice. He's co-head of science, so he should at least have a grounding enough in science to help. And for ease of use, I will bring in the ship's token just so that you can access it as and when you want. So let's... Whoop! Here we are. And bringing on Jenny as well. Okay.
More science.
Almost science. Seeing as the holographic recreation idea was brought up first, why don't we do that? Sean, do you want to pilot your fellow cat, Instant Cursed? And Gareth, since you're not doing anything at the moment, maybe pilot Andrews?
Ooh, I get to be the captain.
Yes, and we can get Alex to be the Navis. So,
Beep boop.
Ori is going to be using reason and science, of course, and his new focus of holography. Cursed, with a focus on electrical engineering, can do reason and science as well.
Sensors and science, though.
Sensors? No. For the ship, it's going to be computers and science. For the captain, I will say that we are more than likely... Whoa, hello! Well done, Alex.
Wow.
This helps
Wow.
very, very nicely. As for the captain, just to put a bit of icing on this cake, let's go for reason and security. Yes, I agree.
Any focuses?
Not really. I mean,
Okay.
Webby would usually argue Starfleet protocols, but we're recreating an explosive in a holographic sense, so I'm not sure I can justify that. So we'll go off talent alone, which was still a success. So all in all, a very, very successful venture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes in total. Blimey. Okay. I will get to your results as soon as we deal with Thazanan's group. So,
I think Mono will take the lead,
okay.
and I will assist the security, and Jenny Eric will also assist the science.
Cool. Davis, if you want to, do you want to be Mono or Eric?
Let's go with Mono.
Okay. Boom, 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 boom. I'm hearing a lot of badoops. Failed to make a Viber's image, but this does look cool. Well, we do have lots of occasions, which, as actually, that's me reading Discord again. So let's have Mike. Jenny Eric is one of your subordinates. You may as well be Jenny. Reason and science. Doesn't have any focuses, so, but does have assistant. So just roll reason and
Sorry.
science for Jenny. Whoa!
Ignore
that's
that one.
Nice.
I don't know. No, that was wrong. I don't know how I managed to do that.
Well, you did reason and security, and that's what I was going to ask you to do anyway, so...
Yeah, I was supposed to roll one dice though. Mono was going to
But,
take.
as it turns out,
primary.
Davis rolled 1 dice, you rolled 2, and you got 3 successes. Do you really want to give those successes back to me?
All right, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Mike, roll for Jenny, please.
I guess it's time to teach the children about explosives.
No.
Well,
So was that
reason
Mike?
and science.
Reason and science, please, but no focuses. She doesn't have an appropriate focus. Well done, Jenny. Wow, the science team are on the ball today. Okay. Alright, so, recreating the bomb and doing a chemical analysis of the explosion. You're able to gain not only a kind of chemical fingerprint, almost, of the bomb, because the specific mix of chemicals that might be specific to an individual manufacturer, but thanks to Orai's team creating a holographic representation and then analyzing it in 3 dimensions, you're able to find a serial number. The serial number and the chemical composition match that of a industrial mining company called Feas Industrial Mining, which is part of the Brandis Construction Companies. They have 1 warehouse apparently attributed to them, according to the investigation by both Royal Bosick and Carlin Fess, where they are licensed to keep their explosives. Let me take the Navis away. So, it seems you have now got a lead. To the conference hall away.
Where's the captain who was born to lead not to read?
Well, this now becomes a thing. Obviously, your 2 security attaches, Fess and Bosick, need to go along, both from one being an official, actual government security member, and the other, well, being a separatist, but still needed to tag along for these investigations. Who do you want to send down to investigate the explosives storage area?
Before we go down, can we gather some information on the equivalent of social media or news networks about the executives of this company and what political leanings they might have?
Okie dokie. Let me see. Bom bom, bom bom. Just to track through my... Okay. Duck. Well, both Bosick and Fess can tell you the same story. Oh, this is Palatique's company. The Ferengi owns the construction companies. And therefore the industrial mining company Feas is definitely under his banner. Mike's having technical difficulties, it seems. Okay. Everything is frozen. Dear. Can you hear us at least over Discord? I'm guessing no. Okay. Just send Mike a message here.
I can hear you now.
Oh, there you go.
Hello. It's just to my computer, like the wireless internet is super fast, but wired to my computer is dragging, and everything froze.
Weird. You would
like
think
Discord won't even load.
Wow. You would think having an actual physical wire would make the thing a bit more instantaneous. There we go.
You'd think it would. Yeah, I've got 530 wireless. But wired, I can't get Foundry or Discord to load. Although
Weird.
Discord must be working because I'm talking to you.
Well, exactly.
I mean, or are you talking to yourself, you fine snap?
Oh, now you're messing up again.
Oh. In more ways than one, it seems. Try a full reset and refresh if you need to. Hockey spookies. just a couple of moments, folks, while we see if we can't help Mike with his problem.
Okay. I'm back in here.
Okay, cool.
Okay, there's our roll. Okay. Alright. Okay.
We looking good?
Well, it was.
Maybe bring Task Manager up to see if there are any processes that are chewing through too much memory. And then destroy them.
Yes. I can hear you guys, so
Excellent.
That's good.
I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you tuned me out, but, you know.
No. Well, I mean, it is essential to hear you.
Well, thank you for saying so. At least somebody appreciates me.
Well, and you have a pleasant voice.
Thank you. No, somebody who's aiming to get leveled up really quick, so I'm putting in Ori for a promotion.
Oh, please no.
You were made captain of your own science vessel.
No.
Oh hell, responsibility!
No more responsibility.
Yeah. Jinx. Anyway. Okay, it doesn't take very long for you to for guys to figure out that
My mentor Harry Kim would be so disappointed in me.
We promised each other we'd both make lieutenant at the same time.
That's right.
In years
I've already
to come.
betrayed that promise.
I still need to be lieutenant by the time Harry comes back.
Yes. If he comes back.
If he comes back.
Anyway, you'll never let him.
Anyway, let's move away from that little horrid fan fiction. It's not fan fiction though, is it? It's a fan theory. Fan hypothesis.
Well, she's torturing him for fun. I mean, you just watch the series and see for yourself.
As we discussed at the beginning of last week, yes. Frightening. Anyway. Yes, it doesn't take long to figure out that the Ferengi Palatique does own the mining company that is licensed to store its explosives in a single warehouse. So, what would you like to do now? I mean, the most obvious thing I can think of is... Sorry, go on, Mike.
Was that directed at Ori?
That was directed at anybody of you players who wants to suggest some course of action.
So, alright, you've got a location narrowed down?
You think so?
Everything's
Ori,
what? Would you say Ori what?
We've basically just said that we've got a potential location for where the explosives might be stored. So,
okay.
Now it comes down to what do you want to do with the information you've got?
Give it to the captain.
Right. Captain's indisposed in a diplomatic call.
Give it to the first
the Admiral wanted to talk to him after the incident. He hasn't come out of she hasn't come out of her office yet. I'm not interrupting an Admiral's call. We can handle this. Right.
So what sort of you instruct, Commander?
So, let's see. In the opinion of the room, do we need more evidence before we bring any claims or interrogate our Ferengi friend?
Bess speaks up at this point. I would definitely recommend that you do.
Right. In which case,
probably prove that there wasn't a break in the first, so that may be an avenue they used to try and defend.
Didn't hear Sean kind of quiet.
Yeah, I didn't catch most of that, I'm afraid, Sean. Sorry. Could you relay that one more time? Hang on, Sean's muted himself.
okay. That sounds
Maybe prove no break-in
important.
first. Yes. Very good point. Well, the best way to prove whether or not there's been a break-in would be to go to the place where they store the explosives. So,
Yes. So, Commander Keval,
Explosives.
do you want to
sorry.
sort out a nice stealthy away team to reconnoiter the location?
was that what you were going to say, Diane, or did you have something else you were going to say?
The other thing that could have been done purely because it's Ferengi, they could have just booked the book.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure the inventory as per the books matches the stock, the actual stock in the warehouse.
Which does seem to once again suggest that somebody needs to go down there and have an actual proper look. So, it has been suggested that somebody volunteers for a did you say stealthy mission there, Davis?
I think that's in someone's vocabulary, it's not in mine. But yeah.
Well, any volunteers who want to go down to the planet's surface in order to see if these explosives are still where they should be?
I can go down, though I'm gonna need some. I'm gonna need some people to go with me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think at the same time we should request, like I said, the stock levels as per the book from the company.
Right, so that's going to be interesting to be going there in an official capacity, but also having a sneaky look. So you do
Edwards.
have...
Could be inspection.
Yeah?
Just
Edwards, how do
general
you fancy
inspection.
running an inspection team?
I don't have very much expertise in this area, but I can give it a go.
You've dealt with civilian officials quite recently.
Have I?
Well, you have been attached to Carlin Fest this entire time, whether that counts.
I haven't been doing too much on that side, but I suppose.
Okay, so I mean,
I can
you've
try.
got Roll Bozic, who is, unionist security, so you've got that going for you. Although technically, this is a private civilian company, but nevertheless, having Roll Bozic on the team will help with the more official cover story of an inspection.
And I guess just to throw some mud in the water, we can have inspections happening at other companies so as not to tip our hand that we suspect this company.
Okay. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. So both Fess and Bozic will agree with that and say that they'll send signals to some of their own teams to have a look as well. Turin is being moved. Any reason Turin is being moved?
Well, if we're wanting a few Starfleet people, if we want the Starfleet lot not to stand out, we probably need to send a few people off with
the other teams.
Other teams,
Okay.
even
No,
if
that's
we
fair
know they're a distraction. So I thought Turin might be a good person to send because we don't tend to need her on a lot of things. Is there anyone else we want to send off on another team's check?
I mean, it can be just assumed that unseen security officers from Bravo's security teams could be sent. So it can be nicely...
Guys.
Go on. Yep. Hello.
Hey. I am going to run down the road and buy another cable.
Hey.
To see if it helps. I should be gone 20 minutes, maybe.
Okay, no
Is that
problem.
okay?
Any kind of
Alright,
thing
sorry
you
about
want us to bear in mind ahead of your departure?
Alright.
Science. I thought as much. There will be
Keep
science
Ori
in
from
Ori's
having sex
name.
and everything.
No
Yep.
problem. Take your time, Mike. Don't
Thank
rush.
you. Sorry about that.
That's quite all right.
All
These
right.
things happen. As well we know. Okay.
We should probably have some sciencey type person with us.
Yep. I mean, Edwards has got some metallurgy, aren't you? Not mineralogy. My mistake.
That's why I was like, I'll give it a go. But I
Um,
mean, there
take-
is certain overlays in metallurgy and mineralogy, but very. This would be quite a broad thing for me.
Or you just take Ori.
Yeah.
I mean, Nova's no slouch at science.
No, Nova's
so
no
I guess
slouch
that's
either.
okay.
So, Ori for the science bit, Nova for the science and engineering bit, Keval to look, impressive and intimidating as he usually does, and the 2 security attaches, because they pretty much need to be a part of any and all investigations going on. So, is that enough, or do we want to tag one more person onto this, or are we good with what we've got? Okay, sounds like we're good with what we've got.
Is anybody, any of the Starfleet personnel good at talking?
If you want good at talking, then there's the captain, there's... what's Vibus's presence like these days? Presence 9, command 3, not bad.
Yeah, don't ask me that question.
Nova's presence is 10 and command is 3, so Nova's actually not bad at that either.
Alright.
Dazzle them with silliness. Okay, if we're good with that, then we will have these guys go down to the mining company offices. Oh, Bozic and Fess are there already, so let me redo what I just did. Let me just grab the Navis 3. Badook, badook, badook. Okay. Let's activate that while we go to investigating the...
Incoming message.
Right, so... as you approach the outside, the exterior of the warehouse, Fess, your separatist attaché, approaches the gatehouse and speaks briefly with one of the guards before returning. When she comes back, they're allowing us into the office in order to check the ledgers for any sign of any withdrawals. But there have been none that the officer has seen in the last week to 10 days. But we are allowed to use the computer terminal to check if we really want to. The terminal is linked to a larger central computer deeper in the complex, and it is voice activated. So we can use that. The inventory itself is in a adjacent secure building not far from here. So, with that in mind... oh dear. Mike just sent us an update and it's 37 degrees C in his car. Yowza. Alright, so accessing this computer. The first thing you realize in trying to access the computer records here is that the computers that the computer systems that the Tolen people have aren't quite as advanced as Federation ones. Not as powerful. So it takes a bit of getting used to the delay between setting it a task and actually getting a response. So anybody who wants to query the database can give me a reason and engineering check with a difficulty 1. Or I can more than likely assist with his computer's focus. But somebody with engineering can probably get this done a bit faster, which would definitely be Nova territory. If Thazanan wants to assist as well, he's not a slouch when it comes to engineering, so...
Can I evaluate the security on this computer system?
Sure.
Just to see how easy it would be for somebody to hack it.
Okay, yep, that's a good idea.
Or I'll just add, or I can just add it as a assist to Nova, probably.
Yeah, so that will count as part of your assist. So yeah, so that becomes reason and security then, rather than reason and engineering. Was it reason? I think it was reason. It was reason.
Yep.
So, boom. If Sean's being Nova, Jens being... Can I get... Gareth, can you be Ori for me?
Yep.
Thank you. This will be 1 dice from Ori, Reason, and Engineering, but he gets his focus of computers.
Computer!
And because he's got... Actually, pardon me, because he's got computer expertise, he gets a bonus d20, so he actually gets to use 2 dice.
He gets 3 successes.
Nice. Sean, you about? Thank you, thank you. Can we get Nova to give us a Reason and Engineering test then? Your inner workings focus should be sufficient for this jobby. Oh, blimey. Look at these rolls. Still using Vista. Well, yes, exactly. You guys are so used to asking a computer and then getting an immediate response that it's a case of you ask a question and there's this audible chugging that you can hear of the system working through the other calculations, and then it eventually comes back. As far as Keval having a look at seeing how secure the computer system is, it's reasonably secure. It's got the usual security measures you expect. Every user has to be logged on. So in order to log into the system, what the security officer who let you in had to give you like a guest account using the kind of security authority that he himself has. So it should, according to that security officer, be sufficient to gain access to their records. How difficult it is to break into? Well, considering this system looks to be quite old, it's entirely possible that somebody of your, as in you guys, your character's computing ability with a moderate to high degree of effort could probably break into this system if they really, really wanted to. So it's definitely not impossible. Something like this is definitely within the ken of your particular characters. So we will look at that as yes. As soon as you start accessing the records, the computer actually comes back with an error message, as it turns out. If I could just... Reckoning error. Physical inventory does not match database inventory. Please visually verify physical inventory.
What's Unit Hello doing down there?
It's not Unit Hello's voice.
I think it was.
Well, Unit
sorry.
Hello's
This appears to be
avatar
Unit
is made out
Hello's
of
voice.
off-the-shelf parts.
What am I thinking of? I've heard you use that voice before for
Dick.
a machine. Yes, thank you.
Sorry, Davis, we talked over you there.
It's all off-the-shelf parts. It's fine.
Carlin Fess herself kind of swears under her breath when she hears the error message come up, and looks at you. So it's clear that Fess is coming to the same conclusion that you might be. Someone might very well have taken the explosives out of the physical inventory and tried to fool the computer until it did an actual active scan by request.
Well, the next question is, do they have security cameras?
Well, let's see, who was it? It was the security officer says that if you want to, you can be allowed into the explosive storage area to try and help do a visual a visual audit of the stocks to see if what you believe to be true might very well be the case. But you probably already have a sneaking suspicion as to what the physical count will tell you. So, up to you. Is that what you are doing next, or do you want to try something else first?
I mean, we are going to do the visual check, but when I was saying security cameras, I mean, do they keep record of people entering and leaving the secure storage facility?
It looks like the thing is actually quite basic. They have obviously their own. They do have their own visual and audio record of folks coming and going. If you're looking for a specific timestamp, it's going to be a bit difficult because you're basically looking at everybody who has applied to take out stock at a certain point, and you're trying to catch the discrepancy. So you do have access to security footage if you want. It's just probably going to take you some time to sift through it all, if you elect to do that.
I guess let's go do the visual inspection. I mean, and then we can look at the likelihood of somebody being able to just transport in and out.
I mean, this place so far hasn't seemed to be all that shielded. But the sheer density of the materials that make up the walls should at least make it very difficult. And the further in you go, the more you see that there are very definite, almost like bomb shelter-like levels of density to the walls. So as you draw closer to the section of the warehouse where the repulsor pallets for carrying the explosives are placed, 2 guards seem to block your way with their weapons raised. One of them says, "Stop where you are! Don't make us shoot you!" Behind you step more guards. So there's this guy and there's these guys. Fess should be with you. So behind you step 2 more guards. Now turn around and leave, or we're going to have to keep you here for a while. Now, Bozic and Fess both look a little bit, not exactly alarmed, but certainly surprised that they're getting this kind of treatment. Fingers his Ushantor, sighs, and then relaxes. So, it seems that even though you've got almost official escorts, these warehouse guards are blocking your ingress. What would you like to do?
Well, ask the guards on whose authority are they blocking access.
Under the authority vested in us by this company, we're not allowed no one is allowed unless they are certified, and then we have to get notified. Turn around, leave.
So you haven't been made aware that there may have been a break-in?
A break-in? Impossible. We would have been notified if there was a break-in.
That sounds like a confession to me.
What? Confession? No! I like it, actually. You're actually confusing him with facts here. It's nice.
I turn to Bozic and ask, what is the crime for terrorism?
Bozic looks knowingly in Thazanan's and Nova's as well direction, I suppose, and just goes, well, that would have to be imprisonment for at the very least 20 years. At which point the two warehouse guards that stepped in front of you guys just kind of exchange an alarmed glance. 20 years? No! We're security guards here. We're not supposed to let anybody in unless they've been authorized. We're not terrorists. What's going on? Look, we can prove it. One warehouse guard steps up and unlocks the main door. The other looks at him like, what are you doing? Unless he steps in. Look, I can prove it. At which point the other warehouse guard just kind of looks between his fellow and you guys and then just shrugs and goes, oh, for hell with it. Fine. He kind of steps to one side as if to allow Thazanan, Nova, Bozic, and Fess entrance. So this guy runs up to the next door and starts... he holds up like a key card, then he swipes over a reader, then he punches in a secure code, and the door hisses open. See, I can show you. Every single explosive is accounted... And he stops right there in the middle of that sentence. It's very clear from the they're supposed to, right, so obviously you can't see everything here, but there's a safe, and inside there are supposed to be pallets containing piled bricks of explosives. As soon as you get a good look, there is obviously gaps in the piles. So it's very clear that some have been removed. Although the amount that was removed doesn't appear to be any more than was necessary to have been required to build the original bomb. Pardon me. No, pardon me. Let me rephrase that. It's actually more. Pardon me. I made a mistake. The amount is more than required to build the original bomb.
Can we estimate how many bombs?
Possibly
one more, you think?
Basnan will look back at the doubting guard and fake his head and go tisk tisk.
At which point Carlin Fest just kind of walks up behind him menacingly as well. Looks like you got a problem, buddy. The guards just kind of sag. So, you now have proof that the explosive, you at least now have evidence, it seems, that the explosive was taken from this storage area, this specific storage warehouse. So, what would you like to do next? I mean, evidently the company is owned by Palatique the Ferengi. You do have complicity in the plot with, I want to say Avarchivis? Yes, I'm right. Haha, Avarchivis, the head honcho's former assistant. So far, though, you don't have anything definitely linking Palatique to anything. Or anybody else. An investigation.
At the very least.
Go on. Yep.
Oh, sorry, at the very least, can his company be threatened with sanction because of the misplacement of explosives?
Certainly. I mean, Bozic and Fess are both very much up for that, because, you know, this is a serious lapse in security here, and letting these explosives go. So, absolutely.
A thorough search of the facility needs to be found, because we need to find the transporter that they used to actually get the bomb to the site.
The other thing... sorry.
No, continue.
The other thing is, if we can establish that the explosive couldn't have left or been taken, it stepped through physical transport, then we can sort of add an additional I don't know, additional severity to the case, so it was not just a lapse in security that allowed somebody to transport the explosive out.
You can certainly use the what you've learned thus far to very much put some legal pressure on whoever you want to lean on in that regard. Let me think. Anything else I've missed?
Because if we can show that the explosives had to leave by sort of physical transport or somebody carrying it out the front door, then it opens up the possibility of not just theft, but an inside job. So complicit, somebody's complicit in the scheme, which increases the charge against the company from lax security to being complicit in a terrorist act.
Yes. So, like I said, going through the security footage in order to find who actually would have come in and taken that stuff is going to take some time to sort. The the guards obviously work in shifts and rotations, so getting a good read on whether any guards were complicit, well, even suggesting that any of the guards were complicit will certainly make the ones who were trying to stop you here sweat, and therefore become suddenly very eager to help you out.
The obvious questions would be: did anybody take sick leave, temporary replacements? Has anybody been flashing around money amongst the guards, that is?
Okay, so an interrogation like that will take a bit of time to do. You can either have you guys hang around here to do that yourselves, or you can leave somebody else behind to do that in your stead while you go off and do something else. You can more than likely, if you can get some means of transferring the security footage onto a removable media, maybe getting the Navis's computer to start sifting through it will take less time than it would be using the Tolen's native computer systems. Fess and Bozic are certainly happy with at least tying their own security credentials in to assist with anything you might need there.
Okay.
But
have we brought in local law enforcement at all?
That's pretty much Bozic and Fess.
I think if we can maybe get Security Bravo to be part of the interrogation, just for that telepathic angle.
Yeah, good idea.
And Security Bravo could probably run the run the Federation side of the interrogation anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, leaving Security Bravo to get on with it, then let's take you back to the bridge for a bit then. Whilst those folks were away investigating the warehouse, the remaining Navis crew who are doing their own investigations and are listening into the comm traffic, the folks who were at the conference, including, and I'm going to forget his name again, so excuse me while I check, the Parak, Veren's Joffes. He comes back with something that may or may not prove of interest. According to the Parak, a number of his delegates were apparently told by an anonymous communication that it would be a good idea if they were not to attend the conference. The Panak also then goes on to say that he had a word with his fellow opposition, expecting that they were perhaps responsible for it, and apparently a number of separatist delegates were also sent very similar notes suggesting that they should definitely give the conference a miss.
I guess we can see if we can trace some of these communications.
Okie dokie. So linking your ship with the planetary communication network might allow voice analysis to take place. So this would be another reason and engineering jobby. Somebody with knowledge of communications would be very useful in this regard. So we're talking Edwards and Hessian once again. Anybody else who wants to get involved as well will more than likely be a good idea. Otherwise it'll be the ship helping as well. So if we can have, let's see, Navis, you alright being Keshen?
Yep.
So we're doing reason and engineering with a focus on communications. Same goes for Edwards. Gareth, if you can be the Navis for us.
Yep.
For the Navis, we're going to be looking communications and engineering, I do believe. Yes. Okay, Keshen, not terribly helpful, but nonetheless. Does he have assistant? No, he doesn't. But Edwards is. Okay, so the computer isn't having much luck, but Edwards with his ear for sounds and linguistics.
Oh, one sec.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. We're not on 5 dice, are we?
No,
and we
that's
did
4.
just use the computer for this.
Yes, you did.
You're going to use your handbook.
Does computer expertise kick in?
Somebody can use a free... if they've got computer expertise, they can use a... Oh yes, Keshen does. Keshen gets to roll an extra. There we are. Nicely spotted. Booyah!
There you go.
2 successes. So we've now gone up to 4. Very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. Wow, okay. The search does not take long, and you get a list of names that you can compare to the records. Bozic himself can have a look at the list that you've got, as well as Fess, unless you want to leave them to deal with the situation in the warehouse. Actually, they would want to be part of whatever's going on here, so they would probably come back to the ship along with Nova, Fazanan, and Ori, so they will more than likely use security minions of their own. So the recipients of these messages all belong to radical groups on either side of the debate. Oddly, however, there appears to be no rhyme or reason as to who contacted whom, and there were some who were contacted by radicals from both factions in a matter of a day or so. Each call said the exact same thing.
No way of finding an original. Is there any way to log the markers and just generally just start scanning the entire of the planet's communications and just see if we can basically do a voice match of anything that might be going on at this point in time?
You could do, but again, something like that is going to take a fair amount of time. Because you're monitoring the communications of an entire planet and running voice comparison analysis. Not saying you can't, I'm just saying that if you do, the results won't be back immediately.
This is where data does miracles compared to the rest of Starfleet.
Well, again,
I
even
mean, we
data
do-
would be, you'd be basically sitting and waiting for somebody whose voice matches so many of these patterns to crop up and then run the analysis against them.
I'll say we do have a hello.
You do have a hello. You can do that if you want to set unit hello off on that kind of task, absolutely.
Commander?
Go for it. It's not Federation data. I don't think the captain will mind that much. This call's with that admiral's going on a while. Should be alright.
Sean. Give us a reason and engineering check from unit hello, please. Quantum computing as a focus would not be a bad one, because that would allow it to maybe narrow things down a bit. This isn't, like I said, it's not going to be an immediate response, but let's just get a general sense of how well unit hello is processing all this data. Two successes, wicked. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay, so processing very well, should have the results in a few hours, hopes, as long as whoever's speaking, sending these messages, turns up on the communication network in the next, let's say, hour or so, foreseeable future. Considering that Tolens do have voice-activated computers, hopefully not long. In the meantime, I mean, you have got radicals on both sides of the fence that were not only targets but also possibles for those who sent them. So this is either speaking to a bizarre amount of collaboration or something else.
Or good for business.
At this point, it does seem as if it's somebody who's interested in conflict between the groups and eliminating moderates.
Now then, what you... Give me a second. I'm trying to find my notes. No, I'm looking at the wrong bit. My pardon. Doobie. Alright, so let's see, what have you got here? Duck. Alright. Let me find something, because you may have caught a break here. Let me just bring something up. Okay, let's take these away. You pick up some comm traffic that Unit Hello flags as being a very high percentage possibility of a match to the voice that was on the recording warning folks to stay away. And apparently it appears to be coming from a communication being exchanged from around 8 individuals who are currently walking through the streets at this very moment down on the planet below. What would you like to do?
Request permission from both the Unionists and Separatists. Beam them up.
Just plain old beam them up.
That'd be my idea. But obviously, Commander, please temper.
Rather than us beam them up, I'd like to beam their security personnel to surround them. I don't want this to be a Federation arrest. I want this to be local using Federation as transport.
Okay. In that case...
Because we know there's a bit of antagonism about the Federation being heavy-handed, so if we can make it so it looks like the locals fix their own problem, we might come out of this in a better situation.
Nice consideration. Okay. Okie dokie. Alright, so alerting local conference guard to... did I say conference guard? Capital guard, pardon me. To the presence of individuals that you might want to have a word with. They then report back to Royal Bozic that they have managed to corner the 8 individuals and are basically holding them for the moment. So they are still on the planet below. Do you want to transport down and interrogate them? Do you want to transport them up here to interrogate them?
Right. Let's bring them up here. They can't escape from ourselves.
No, true enough.
It's a bit of a long walk out of an airlock.
Very, very true. Okay. Alright then. So, not taking things away from the bridge map at the moment because they basically weren't able to offer any resistance since the Capital Guard found them and arrested them. Hang on a second. The Webby is sending us a communication, so the captain wants to know what's going on. What are you guys doing? Okay, so transporting these guys up straight to the brig means that you have them in secure holding so that you are able to interrogate them. When the 2 security attaches go with your interrogation, your interrogators, Carlin Fess, the separatist, recognizes one of the group as a senior page to one of the government's most influential senators. But likewise, Royal Bozic recognizes 2 of the others as radical separatists. A 4th member, however, is the more interesting one, as this one has an ID card from one of the Tolen Miners Guild, but has no known affiliation with either the government or the separatists. So, what would you like to do?
I say the captain will probably let a supervised crack at him.
Quite likely. Probably send a Bravo in.
Or Claw.
Or a
Or
claw.
Claw. Actually, no. You don't want Claw on first.
Claw goes and it goes, claws represent innocent rocks that you mine so callously.
Okay.
I have a quite mean idea that might help. So, what's everyone think about us recording the interrogations and letting the Tolans play them on their own news sets? because we've got people from both factions organizing themselves together as a terrorist group. That shows that these factions can work together.
Interesting.
United, they can work together, united by their hatred of the concept of working together.
But it defeats their entire point.
I don't know,
I'd
Faction
say-
Paradox would be proud of them.
Alex, you were going to say something?
I'd say it'd probably be something that I'd definitely run that by the actual both the factions themselves, because what was that about us being heavy-handed? That's slightly taking the thing out of their hands and into ours. So they've got to have the input on it. If they agree to something like that, then I'd say yeah, why not? But I wouldn't do it without running past them.
Yeah, we have to realize that our evidence against them is not overwhelming. So it might be a bit of character assassination going on.
As opposed to their attempted actual assassination.
Yeah, well, we can't issue them to Orland, so
Maybe
do something.
Well, an interrogation by the captain and anybody else who wanted to join in whatever manner that you wanted them to join in will reveal that running the ID on this, the ID card of the guy who belongs to the Miners Guild, it will surprise nobody to learn that the Tolen Miners Guild is owned by Palatique. Apparently, supposedly to unite all miners under one banner and make pay and benefits fair for all. But once this is brought out, Roll Bozic and Carlin Fess will note that they've heard rumours that the Miners Guild have been known to use force in order to make independent miners either join their guild or find another line of work.
Okay, while we're dealing with this, I have a job for Mr. Keshen. I need a full copy of the Ferengi Rules of Acquisition.
Okay.
Why would a Klingon know that?
Keshen, your my deputy
Keshen,
comm
sorry.
officer.
I thought you said Kesh, so my mind's going.
I could ask Keth for it as well, but
Keth and just
No.
engineer Keth just looks at you like, what? Is this another thing you're trying to get me to do that I have no idea how to do?
I am going to ask a to help Keshen with it. Just because
If you actually want the list, I do literally have that as an open tab right now.
Chili. Edwards, could you work with Keshen? We need to find a way that they are currently breaking the rules of acquisition.
I'm back.
Yay!
Hey, sorry about that.
No, that's quite alright. Can't be helped. Technical problems plague us all. It's plagued me more than once. No problem. Alright, so far Ori has
much
assisted.
better.
Yeah, excellent. So far Ori has assisted with some of the investigation, and it looks as if you have at least got some evidence that you've got somebody from the Miners Guild here on Tolen who is uniting two sides together. So, and the Ferengi Palatique owns the mining guild. So, this at least seems to create some kind of link with potentially what's going on. But if you're looking for a breach in the rules of acquisition, so far you can't find one. Because, as has been noted, peace is good for business, and so is war. So,
I've just realised this list is actually missing a few. So unless you want to make one up. I think you're missing a fair few. Just realised. Scratch that link, I'm going to find the proper one a bit more.
nevertheless, eventually the analysis of the security footage eventually comes back. And they are able to confirm that even though the record later states that an employee did not take out so many bricks of Triceron explosive, there is evidence that somebody did, and that later on the record was altered to suggest that they did not. The individual in question, once you look up their ID, also holds an identity tag that links them to the Tolen Miners Guild, which explains how they were able to get such easy access to the explosive storage, because only the mining companies should really have licensed access to them, and someone in the mining guild definitely has access to a license. So, evidence seems to be mounting up towards a specific conclusion, but don't let me colour your opinions. What steps do you think you would like to take next?
Attack the miners. They knew what they were doing.
They knew the risks.
That's all right.
I mean, yeah, go on.
Doctor, I have a suggestion I'd like you to consider.
Yes.
How well do you think you could make one of the crew into looking like a Ferengi liquidator?
Well, I mean, we have the techniques to alter someone's physiognomy so that they can pass as other species, including Ferengi.
You could do unit hello.
Sorry?
Take unit hello.
They would have to be a biological life form. I couldn't make Unit Hello look like a Ferengi.
He's real to me.
Yes, sadly, yes, it's more a case of. I mean, it's not latex that they use to put false appearances on people, but the 24th century equivalent of a disguise kit, anyway.
Yeah.
They have done good enough quality to fool them. I know they did in Voyager, but I don't know what the time skip is between where we are now and when they went out.
I know.
Go on,
I think I said that Voyager has been. He said I think mid-end of the first season, if I remember right, that Voyager has been marked as lost.
Okay.
Which means that Voyager is out there, so therefore, because we know in Voyager that they did actually make someone successfully look identical to a Ferengi, the technology must be available to Starfleet at this point.
I mean, it was Neelix.
Yeah. They also did it in Strange New Worlds, first episode of their first season. They genetically manipulate the away team crew so that they do appear to be the same race as the people they were trying to insinuate themselves amongst without violating the Prime Directive. Even though it wasn't the Prime Directive at that point. But anyway, I'm splitting hairs.
I might have seen that one, actually.
I should
General
hope
Order
so.
1, still General Order 1.
But anybody who hasn't seen Star Trek Strange New Worlds really needs to, in my opinion. But, nevertheless.
Love their theme tune. A strange new world.
Get out.
What was I going to say? Edwards could be the first guy in the earpiece, but he doesn't have the confidence or the charisma to be able to do it. We need someone who's confident and has that way with people to be convincing enough.
So you basically need somebody who can lie convincingly. Well, anybody with good presence and or command or security should be able to fool most folks. So we're probably talking the captain, or Vibers, or even Nova. Orai's
Any
presence isn't
volunteers?
awesome, but it's not bad. Same goes for Vibers. Reasonably good presence. Fazanan, again, reasonably good presence. Really good on security. Might have to flatten down the antenna, but you know.
Nobody touches my antenna.
Just get a set of secretaries and just prune. I'm joking.
Okay, so you want to disguise somebody as a Ferengi. What's the plan after that?
If we are really struggling to get evidence together, why not turn up as a liquidator, saying we've been sent by the Ferengi Alliance because we've heard rumours that you have set up a union.
Ooh.
Good point.
At which point, he's going to point out all the bad things he's done, all the dodgy deals, all the things to prove he is in compliance with being a manipulative Ferengi. And
Okay.
he might give himself away
This is an
so
interesting
we can
plan.
arrest him under Tolen Wars.
This appears to be an interesting plan. Okie dokie. So yes, you need basically somebody to play the from the union.
Yes,
thank you,
we
Gareth.
don't even think they get dental.
Oh god.
So you need someone
I
to
mean,
pretend to be a liquidator. You could probably take someone along to pretend to be Muscle.
Navis, it's the other way around. It's like, we heard you've been giving them dental.
Dental plan.
Oh, we're sending Court with them.
Okay.
In civilian uniform,
Right.
Court sent down with a Ferengi. No one's gonna say no to him asking questions and wanting to see stuff.
Okay.
We're here from Pinkertons.
Crikey. Let's not even joke about that, considering what happened with Wizards of the Coast sending the Pinkertons after to somebody who had Magic the Gathering cards. But that's a news article for other people to read in their spare time rather than now. But yeah, look it up. Happened. Okay, so just Claude and one person pretending to be a Ferengi liquidator. Who wants the job? I mean, again, somebody who's got reasonably good presence will pull this off. Anybody who's got a good security or command will also be good for pulling this off too.
Anybody with a focus in deception?
Amongst this lot, I'd be very surprised. Although Nova does still have the focus on infiltration, which could conceivably be suggested is more or less the same kind of thing. As you are essentially lying to infiltrate a facility. So...
I'm just going to throw this out there. The Tude has sociology.
At which point, every transport trip for you now is slightly bumpy. You don't know how.
You might appear with
I
your head
never
on
real-
backwards, yeah.
I never realised that you could transport with your feet always 2 centimetres above the ground when you land.
That's fine. Every time there's a transporter mishap, I'll just pull in the Tude for another Moss lecture to help him focus.
I mean, Sean, do you fancy using Nova's infiltration to try and pretend to be a Ferengi administrator? Liquidator?
The problem with that is that she's a female.
That's a very good point.
That is a good point. I've talked myself into this, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
Well, if anyone's
You being a
going to be
diplomat and everything.
believable as a scoundrel, it's definitely going to be Vibers.
Okay. Doc, do your magic, and I could do with a comm unit embedded in my ear, please.
That
Okay,
actually
I'll see what I can do.
brings up something I was going to mention. On the off chance things go sideways, okay, you've got Claude. But what if something happens and things kick off?
We keep a lock on them so that we can send down Keval, Natik, and Security Bravo, our triple threat.
Okay.
I was going to say that that's where there is actually one of the rules, which is literally shoot the messenger, isn't there? So they actually could think it's well within their rights
Always
to
shoot the
try and
messenger,
kill them.
yeah. I forget which...
Always shoot your messenger.
Because that was literally from the Voyager episode we're talking about. That was their justification for killing Neelix.
Yeah, like you need justification for
Right.
killing Neelix.
Yeah, but
In which case, can I bring a Bravo as security Ferengi'd up with me as well?
Ferengi'd up. Ferengi rules of acquisition. When the messenger comes to appropriate your profits, kill the messenger.
Yeah, it's on the link. I've just looked it up. It's classed as an unofficial one, but I think it's because it came in Voyager. Yeah.
Yes. Alright.
Which means it wouldn't be in the official document the Vibers read, and he wouldn't know about it.
True, actually. So,
Okay.
Is there anyone else we want to bring? Do we want a 3-man team enough for this, or do we need a bit more?
Entirely up to you. Because this could... Actually, no.
I'm using like mercenary Klingon, but then again, it might get a bit bloody if you bring Kev for an actual battle.
Well, let's just send down the entire Navis crew, all Ferengi'd up, with Unit Hello with like fake plastic ears.
Just the ears, nothing else. You've still got the flat screen.
The little wavy arms.
This unit loves profit.
Actually, no. Sean, you're right with me taking Unit Hello down as well? Or is Hello busy?
I'm curious now. Are you actually?
He's an auditing robot. He's here to double check all your accounts because he can't be bribed. But I'm the one who's reading them, so cough up.
Right. Is Edwards just there by proximity, or is he actually going down as well?
No, I'm the guy in the earpiece, so I don't have the confidence to pull it off.
Right, so
Was it
Claude
Ari?
the
Sorry,
muscle,
Edward.
Hello the unbribable thing, Bravo being just a Ferengi just to be there to... I always kind of pictured Bravo and his brothers as being slightly tall guys, so I don't know if these guys are going to have to walk with a stoop or what. But,
Just take out part of their spines.
possibly go. Just knock them
No.
out like Jenga tiles, yes.
Yes.
They're there as muscle. I picked tall ones.
Okay. Alright, any advances on this plan, or are we good for sending them in as fake Ferengi liquidators and team?
Make sure they take pattern enhancers.
Yep. Well, pattern enhancer is going to be a bit difficult to
Isn't
cover,
there like
but
a
there is...
Homer effect? Really? Excuse me.
Yeah, what was the other one? It was a emergency transponder. That's something that's a little smaller and therefore more concealable. Plus, you
We'll
can call him
consider
backup.
it in Hello.
Ah, good. Right. I like. Okay. All right then. Are we ready? Are we set?
Even set up some Hello's disguise.
God, I have to look at this now. It's basically the interrogator probe droid from Star Wars.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for Babis to come in and now, Mr. Take, we will discuss the Union.
All right. Investigating Palatik. And going to his... Alright, so essentially you are given leave to travel to Palatik's mansion. Let me find that. So, it's a magnificent building in downtown of the capital. It has its own landing pad and a penthouse that looks out over the city towards the Capitol building. The two investigators from both sides of the political divide are a little bit apprehensive about not going with you, but they get the whole point of the deception, and therefore they're kind of champing at the bit, waiting to go with you. Did we lose somebody, or am I imagining things? Oh, that's what I'm hearing. My mistake, pardon.
Yeah.
We're up.
It's me.
Okay. Good to know.
Right. What's the Ferengi's name again?
Palatik. So, is everybody hearing me? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hearing the odd little pop here and there, as if something's trying to come through, but not quite. Anybody else hearing that, or is it just me?
It's just you.
Okay, good. Just the voices in my head is fine.
That's right.
Okay, so as you come through the entrance, you are met with a reception, essentially, and there is an Orion lady behind the desk as the main receptionist.
Liquidator Brunt, FCA. Get your boss. It's an inspection.
Well, I'm sorry, but Mr. Teak is not available at the moment, but I can check his schedule for you if you really want me to.
All accounts, all details, and I am going to be marking this place as shut down immediately.
I'm not sure that's entirely necessary, sir. I can just simply set you up with a...
Get your boss, now.
Okay.
I slap a FCA symbol on the
desk.
On the desk, and
Right. Okay then.
Argumentative pain in the arse from the beginning.
You, Davis, never.
You're welcome.
Okay. It doesn't take long, you are happy to note, before Palatik does actually arrive, but he's not alone. He comes with a pair of gruff-looking individuals who are probably guards of some sort. Big guys, look like they may be ex-military or something like that. Fairly rough-looking. Excuse me.
Are they from the native species?
They are not. They are not Tolans. Liquidator! Palatik comes in with a swish and a swirl. His arms are wide, his teeth are shining in a salesman's smile. He's dressed in the opulent finery one would expect of his race and position. His tones are smooth. Welcome! Would you like any refreshments? It's been a long time since I've had any call to interact with the Ferengi Commerce Guild. Forgive me if I...
We heard rumours that you have set up a union.
Well, yes, that's not strictly untrue. I can assure you that it's entirely profitable. It's mostly so that I can maintain a stranglehold on the entirety of all mining endeavors here on the planet.
Logical.
Oh, okay, where is it? Edwards would perk up. So remind him of what was it? Rule number.
So Vibus is getting this through his earpiece, I take it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm trying to find sorry, I'm literally going up and down this list.
Keyword?
291. Actually, no, not 291. Next to it, where is it?
The less employees know about the cash flow,
211.
the smaller. 211.
No. 2-1. Employees are the rungs on the ladder to success. Don't hesitate to step on them. He's making their lives better and not treating them like the rungs up the ladder at his
But
head.
remember rule of acquisition 211. Employees
of
are the rungs
course.
of the ladder of success.
Well, yes, of course, I give them the small benefits here and there, but by utilizing the guild, I'm able to ensure that people either work for me or they don't work in the mining industry at all. That way, I maintain my singular grip on all mining activities here on the planet. I assure you, Liquidator, I have everything well in hand here.
Holds out my hand. Looks away slightly. Rubs fingers together in the well-known symbol of right, please.
Of course. Where are my manners?
You also get another thing. He's just boxed himself in with Rule 95, expand or die. If he has cornered all markets, he cannot expand in this system anymore.
And you're saying you've already claimed all the markets in this system?
Well, no, actually. I do have something that I am looking into right now as a means of furthering my profit, as it turns out. So mining isn't my sole concern. Not anymore, at least, if you know what I mean. And he does give an over-exaggerated wink.
Of course. I'll need my unit to double check your financial records. Just to ensure you are following these rules and you're not being overly nice to your employees.
Oh, well, I can assure you that my secretary here can attest to how awful I am on a regular basis. Just casting a look over at the receptionist. She's there just doing her nails, but she's nodding quietly to herself at this point.
As a slight one.
Let's move this conversation into your office, if that's...
Of course! What were you going to say, Alex?
I would say pocket this one if you want to potentially dig or have a riot at him. This won't help too much apart from just unsettling, but that indication could come across as he might be potentially violating 94. Females and finance don't mix.
Because of
Murderous
course,
rage level 72.
we need to remember Rule 94.
Looking back to her.
I do not involve my secretary in any financial endeavors. She's just there to look good and keep people away from me.
Like Ori.
Good.
But it's also the second point of that is she's Orion. Orion never, especially some of the films, are able to stay away from certain manipulations.
Oh please, she's dumb as a rock.
Okay, my unit needs access to your financial records. I'm sure one of your walking pods can sort them out. Nope.
Hello just kind of wanders over and starts to access things. Teak is there just kind of rocking back and forth on his heels, clicking his fingers, looking a bit nervous. Right. It's
Of course,
this...
the report.
Go on.
Of course, the reports from that unit are completely trustworthy and completely unbribable. But I am the only one who will read them. Makes a symbol for bribe, please.
Okay.
The more often I do this, the more likely he's gotta keep thinking it's real.
Actually, I forgot my extra dice. Oh, that was nearly a 20. Oh, shit. Okay, so first things first. Sean, unit hello. Can we have control and security from unit hello? We want him to access. We want it to access the records. Have a good old look-see. Did the reading? Ah, okay. Yes. If you spend a momentum, then you can use science instead. Smashing. Okay. So Unit Hello accesses some of the records that have been going on, and yes, it seems that Palatik is tied into into the mining guild quite heavily, and he does make a lot of profit from it. But there are a number of other recent deposits being made into areas that are not to do with the mining operations here on the planet. There appear to be a sudden purchase in a lot of money going out, or whatever you want to say, a lot of currency going out to a number of individuals that Hello can cross-reference as basically arms dealers that operate in or around this kind of area of space. It seems that Mr. Teak has been putting out feelers and has been looking to, well, has obviously invested with a couple of arms dealers. There have been no evidence of deliveries as of yet, but there's a communication or two to these notorious individuals that seems to suggest that Palatik is expecting these guys to make deliveries sometime soon. Palatik also has a number of, it looks like surveillance files or folders at the very least on individuals on both sides of the political divide that might very well be, I suppose, bribable. And he appears to have been trying to amass dirt on a number of people. However, it's at this juncture that Palatik kind of leans over to have a look at what Unit Hello is doing, and he definitely frowns for a moment before leaning back. So, Liquidator, I have one or two more files that I keep on secure pads in order to make sure that I don't have everything on my main computer server, so if you will excuse me, I will go and fetch those pads for your perusal, and I will bring them back forthwith. With your leave, of course.
Yes, get it done.
Excellent, excellent. Gareth as Commander Bravo, Chief of Security. And Jan as Claude, please. Can I get both of those guys to give me insight and security? Both separate, not collaborating. 2 dice each.
I suppose I can use telepathy as a focus.
Yeah, go ahead. As far as Claude goes, nothing stands out there. But if you want to use a determination, Claude is first line of defense, or I am Claude, will do as well.
Yeah, I was thinking of using this for Bravo.
Truth is what lies beneath. Yep, that'll do. Three successes for Claude, because of course.
He is Claude.
He is Claude.
Three
And Bravo
successes.
gets 3 successes because he is Bravo! Alright, Ferengi are notoriously difficult to read with telepathy. Betazoids have no end of trouble with them, so... up until a certain point, there were waves of just anxiety coming off of him, probably from the fact that there's a Ferengi liquidator. But then as soon as he leaned over and looked at what Unit Hello was doing, that disappeared and turned into a level of static, essentially. But what was telling to Bravo and to Claude was as Palatique moved past his 2 security guards, he seemed to just almost brush past them and give them a little tap on the elbow. And then Bravo's telepathic sense suddenly gets a note of these guards are getting ready for action, and Claude picks up on the change in their posture as well as they suddenly move towards their weapons. As Palatique disappears through the doors, there's all of a sudden the sound of the door locking behind him, and the guards go for their weapons.
And we shall stop them!
So, I'm going to bring everybody into a very quick combat initiative. Since you managed to successfully not get surprised by them, I will allow you guys to dictate. You guys going first. One of you guys going first.
Who should it be? Me or Claude? Oh.
Should it be the Claude or the Bravo? Or the Vipers? Or the Hello?
Definitely a Bravo or a Claude.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we make it the
What do you
Claude?
want, Jan?
Yeah, I think Claude. Claude will go.
Okay.
Claude just goes up, puts a fist on their heads, clonks the fist, and sees them buried to the neck in the ground.
Since he hasn't rolled in a little bit, let's have Alex be Claude for this one. Either go to hand or go for weapon is up to you.
Okay, so it's scary in what, sorry? Daring.
If you're going to go hand to hand, it's going to be daring. Not that it makes a difference with Claude, but...
Yeah, why not?
Alrighty. Then this guy gets daring and security as well. This will go not terribly well for this guy. Oh, actually, 2 successes, not bad. But it's not the same as Claude's 3 successes, so...
Claude thinks your head looks like a button!
Boing. Alright, roll that unarmed. You get one over, so you can either put that back into the momentum pool or you can add it to damage.
Damage.
Damage! 3 successes, 2 effects, and 1 extra.
Oh, 1 extra dice.
Nothing on top of that. Okay. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 blanks. You can spend a point of momentum to make those not blanks and re-roll them. If you wish.
Why not?
Okay.
So reroll 4.
Reroll 4. Well, that's better. 1, 2, 3, and 2.
2 more effects.
Extra effects. So you've actually got 4 with 5 effects. So, is just 2. Okay. These guys are tough. They were also wearing armor, so the punch doesn't do as much damage as necessary, but the knockdown certainly works as he basically gets punted to the floor. Right, one of them goes next, and it's going to be this guy here who draws on... he's not going to draw on Claude, he's going to draw on Bravo. So this is going to be a control and security check with a phaser weapon. And he doesn't manage to hit. Okay, one of you gets to go next. Do you want Security Bravo to go, or do we want Vipers or Unit Hello to go?
imagine Bravo would be next, logically speaking.
Okay, we've just had Alex. Mike, do you want to be security Bravo?
Yes.
Do we want hand to hand,
I've
or
been
do we
waiting
want
for this.
phaser?
Ooh. Hand to hand.
Hand to hand. All right, go for it. So Bravo can close the distance and then engage in daring and security.
All right. Let me get him here. Security Bravo.
Nothing.
Where is he?
He's right by here.
How do I get his sheet pulled up by that?
Double click him.
Yay. Okay, cool. All right. Unarmed strike.
So, daring and security, please.
Okay. All right. Security. Where is security? Okay. And then daring. Does he have a focus? He's got hand to hand.
See, hand to hand is a focus. Yes, indeedly do.
Is he rolling 2 or 1?
2. Unless you
Come
want to
on,
buy
Bravo.
extra with momentum or spend a point of determination, but we'll go with no. 2 over the nothing I scored, so you can either add those 2 successes back to the momentum pool, or spend them on damage, or any combination thereupon.
I think I'll put it back in the pool.
Boink, boink. Roll unarmed damage. Oh, not bad at all. 5 and 3.
Yeah, bravo.
5 goes down to 3, and a knockdown means he basically gets thrown into a table.
No telepaths.
We have got Vipers and Hello left. What would Vipers and or Hello want to do?
Okay. Right. Vipers could kick the one who's down on the ground
Okay.
before he gets up.
Kick him or shoot him? I mentioned this because your control is way higher than your daring.
That is a really good point. In which case, shoot him in the
And
head.
your offering is sized.
Yeah. Shoot him in the head with a phaser. Sounds like
Right, he's on his butt on the floor at your feet. I'm going to make this difficulty 1. So, unless you really balls this up, this should be an easy shot.
Don't say that to Navis, he will find a way.
2 successes, which you get to add to damage. Bada boom. Seven with 2. Nice, 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 nice. So, you didn't charge it or anything, but 7 goes down to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
I also didn't add 2 extras.
No, you didn't, so throw in those 2 extras.
I think that does it.
1 success and 1 effect, okay. 1 extra. Not bad. Not bad at all. Unit Hello. Can I get Unit Hello to give me a control and science with quantum computing as a focus, please, Sean? Spectacular. That was just enough. Okay. Unit Hello not engaging in this, this combat gets a read on what just happened. It seems that Palatik activated some mansion-wide lockdown, which has basically alerted all of his security to converge on this area and has allowed Palatik to escape. It seems that security protocol, protocol when this security feature is activated, is supposed to allow Palatik to get to the landing pad quickly. So, basically this turn Unit Hello learns that information, so what everybody would like to do with it is entirely your choice. So, unless anybody's got anything specific they want to do in the meantime, round 2. Who of you guys is going next? Claude, Bravo, hello, Vibers, anybody?
You go with Claw again, just keep...
Pick up, nerds.
That sounds like a claw.
Okie dokie. So let's have... We've had Sean, we've had Navis, we've had Mike. We've had myself, we've had Alex, so it sounds like we are due a Gareth.
Okay.
Give us a Clawt.
Okie dokie. Do. I guess can't.
So it depends entirely on what you want to do. Do you want to keep on with the close combat, which it appears you do? Okay.
I think you should. Honestly, I'm considering just using this determination purely to go for him to go, I am Clawt, and then bring the foot down on his head to knock him out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
To knock him out. Knock him out, not to squish him. I like that you added that at the end.
Look, his Clawt is still a Starfleet officer.
He is. He is. Alright then. This guy gets to do daring and security as well, albeit not as great because he's on the floor, as evidenced by my 1 success. Clawt, daring and security, please. Oh, did it? 5 success. 4 over and above what you needed. Well, you know what to do.
And
This guy is so much paced. 5 successes down to 3. So you got 4 extra.
Okay, so that's just 4 extra 4d6.
Yes, please. Which means you got 1, 2, 3 extra. This is actually 8 successes, 1 effect. 8 minus 2 is 6. That's enough to knock this guy out. Kaboom!
You need fleshling.
Defeated, not dead. Okay, so that's one of you. Now it's one of them, which is the only guy left. So he's gonna scramble behind the table, remain pretty much in a kneeling position, and is gonna use his quick action to aim. He's definitely gonna aim at Bravo here, because he's very, very close by. Control and security with a focus on hand phases, and he gets to re-roll. But he does quite spectacularly, so this means that Bravo does indeed get shot. Unless Bravo wants to spend a determination to get out of the way of the damage.
Does this defensive training work against melee or ranged?
Select either melee or ranged attacks when you acquire this. They'll be of the chosen type, decrease in difficulty. Well, he hasn't chosen, so now's the time to choose. Should we go ranged?
Yeah. People good with that?
Yep.
Yep.
It makes more sense because ranged attacks are usually more damaging than close combat ones. So, okay. Lowers the difficulty... No, increases the difficulty, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Of the chosen type by 1. So it's usually 2, it's now 3, which means he missed. Okay, defensive trading pays off just in the nick of time. Well done, Gareth.
I just imagine the guy sort of aims, fires, and Bravo just leans slightly to the right, so he goes over his shoulder, goes back, and then, boy, you done fucked up.
There's our PG-12.
No Matrix. No Matrix backflip.
No. Bravo's just going, you've just gone and done the dumbest thing in your life.
Right, this guy has got cover now, so that'll have to do with something. But Bravo can still shoot. If he wants to. Other than that, Vibers or Hello can go next. So let's have a Bravo who hasn't been for a bit. Jan?
Sure.
Be the Bravo.
Right. quick action aiming
Cool.
and then taking a shot.
Control and security, pretty please. Using the big one or the handheld phaser?
It'll have to be the hand phaser,
Okay.
because that's the focus.
That's a definitive hit with 3 successes, 1 over and above what you need. So 1 extra goes into damage. However, like I said, this guy is behind cover, so I roll challenge and get 1. Okay. That'll knock 1 off, but you get 6 successes, 1 effect.
I think momentum to reroll 3.
Okay, dokie. It's better. Oh, 10 successes. 2 effects. Damn, boy. They're wearing armor. You didn't tune your phasers, so that's gonna not quite take him out, but very nearly. So the table basically is now in pieces, so Palatik's coffee table has now pretty much been destroyed. Vibers and Hello are the 2 left.
Does Hello want a combat turn?
Yeah,
I think Hello would probably try and change the protocols to lock them back towards the helicopter.
Okay, cool. Well, if you want to do that now, that's fine. So let's see. Control and security, more than likely. What can we use? Computer control systems as a focus would be a pretty good one, I think. We're probably looking at something like difficulty 2 here due to the secure nature of the network. So whatever you want to do to add to that, Sean, would be entirely your choice. Termination. Okie dokie. Let's see. Well, any of them seem to apply nicely, I think, so. Oh. Did we lose somebody or did we gain somebody? We gained somebody. Webby!
Gain the captain.
Hi, Captain.
Nice.
Good news. The negotiations have been going swimmingly well.
Oh, excellent. Vibers.
There is a reason why Captain Andrews has spent the last 4 or 5 hours in a conversation with an admiral, but we'll cover that in a minute.
He talked his way quite well. It's just that after the guy realised what we were downloading, he might have had some suspicions.
Right.
It could also be we convinced him really well and he decided to shoot the messenger.
Right. On the
Unit
plus
Hello
side,
manages to successfully hack into the security system and essentially disables the lockdown, which means you are now able to go anywhere you want. Unit Hello can also turn the tables of the security system and get them to work against the guards who are trying to get to your position. One thing that Unit Hello does get with that extra success, those extra 2 successes rather I should say, is that Palatik's personal shuttle has just taken off and is heading into orbit.
That's good timing. The captain's on the bridge.
Yes,
See, what I reckon you should do? Engage the cloaking device. Have Keval move it with the open shuttlecraft right in front of his ship. And so he just flies into our shuttle bay and doesn't realise he gets on board and literally the ship appears around him.
Okay,
I'm
so
just
we've
saying,
got
it would be
Vibers
hilarious.
left to go. Does Vibers want to try and finish this guy off? Or now that the lockdown is lifted, you
Might-
can get communications out?
Might as well finish him off, because otherwise he's going to shoot me in the back.
You took. Difficulty 2, now that his cover's been completely destroyed thanks to Security Bravo. Control and security. Anything you want to throw into it, you've got a full momentum pool. Ooh, that's a miss and a half. Unless you want to spend determination.
If I spend determination, what's that add in?
That'll let you re-roll one or both.
Star cost doesn't help here.
Are we in comms with them now?
Now you've got comms back after the lockdown was lifted, yes.
There you go. Spend your determination.
Okay.
Might as well do something tonight.
Is this I might get it back at the same time?
Well, you don't spend one. Yes, Andrews spends it and gets it back. Nice.
Cool. I've spent one for my reroll, and then I've been given a determination that I'm then spending on said reroll.
Right, okay, nice. Okay, do it. Just as well, because one's an 18. Again. So, nevertheless, that was a hit with one over and above what you need, so you get to add 1 to damage. Nicely done. 7 successes, 2 effects, wearing armor.
8 successes.
Me, 8 successes, 3 effects. -2 is 6. You managed to disable that guard. Nicely done. Alright. Yes, Unit Hello has reported that Palatique is trying to escape into orbit. So let me briefly take you to the overall look of the planet. We have Palatique's shuttle. Even though that says Havara Tolen transport vessel, it seems he's stolen a Tolen vessel, or his personal shuttle is a Tolen vessel, probably as a means of trying to lose you amidst all the other traffic that's going on. He's heading straight into orbit. What would you like to do?
I like Gareth's idea.
Which was?
Cloak the ship and just fly in front of it. And he flies straight into the shuttle bay.
Interesting. Okay. Let me take you to the bridge. So, your security attaches are standing off to one side. Claude is unavailable. Everyone else can be back in their usual seats in that case. Let's put Moray back to his usual spot. Lenny has been sent all the way away from Helm. Gets thrown out of the way. Poor Lenny.
Oh, Lenny.
Still got his claw marks in the console where he's trying to hold on to it.
Claude is otherwise engaged on the surface, as is Bravo and Vibers and Hello. So they're up there.
That means Natique's on tactical then, isn't it?
Natique could be on tactical if you want.
Actually,
Edwards was just filling in.
You know what? Kev!
Kev on tactical. That's first officer's chair. Tactical is by here. Edwards was
we know it. Right, Kev, stay there.
God. He's like, why am I here now? We haven't done that with him the whole time. As soon as you get here, he's somewhere where he isn't normally meant to be.
Alright then, sod you then. Right, Lachude.
What? What? Fire phasers? Looks at the captain expectantly.
Sorry.
Was that wrong?
Or do we spike Keval and we put Lenny on the...
No, I think we're going to do a maneuver like this. It should be a Keval special.
Oh, it definitely should be a Keval special.
Lenny sat in my seat. That's first officer's console. Edwards is at the tactical.
Yeah, so it's now Lenny's actually giving commands to Phasma.
And he is entirely confused and kerfuffled by this and can't think of anything to say, so just goes back to his corner.
What's the command structure? What did we say? I can't remember the actual command structure.
It's if Lachude is operations when Nova's gone, then I don't know. I suppose Dr. Bertram is actually next most senior.
But as
Actually.
a doctor, he'd be in
Sick bay, where
Sick
I'm cleaning up after transforming several members of our crew into Ferengi earlier.
I think it's at Bravo's engineer, so you'd stay there. I cannot remember what we said as our. There we go. Yeah.
Will do.
Kapla!
Today is a good day to die, Captain. Opening. I will open the docking bay.
It's just like a.
Where?
Let me
Commander Navis A.
put the Navis in here so you can easily access it, because we're going to be doing a very difficult maneuver here.
We're fishing for
To
gas.
compare, it's just like on the bridge looking and going, oh my god, the Federation are insane!
As they're playing
It's a
musical chairs with the
hunting
first
trip.
officer seat.
Kev is quite happy with this. It's a hunting trip.
Yeah, there's that. Lieutenant Commander Navis reporting for duty? Well, quite. We've got so many Lieutenant Commanders, why wouldn't we promote the ship? Right. This is gonna be... Ooh, right. You're trying to enter into atmosphere, trying to get past the rings safely, whilst getting into atmosphere, whilst cloaked. And if you want him to fly into the shuttle bay, you're gonna have to do it with the shields down. I'm going to make this ridiculous and make this a difficulty 4 maneuver, because I have that much faith in Fathazana.
Oh dear.
Let's start throwing in those
Control and
disciplines.
con with Helm operations aided by the ship, and because Webby has just arrived, Webby can be the Navis, giving us engines and con.
That's Lieutenant Commander Navis to you.
I bet.
I shall be using determination.
I've spent it for you, so.
Well, in that case, maybe the ship can use a point of determination and Fazanan can use his own, I don't know.
If
Yeah.
you want, I'll spend it on the ship then.
Here's the ship's determination.
Well,
Like, isn't part of either side and he's causing disruption, therefore.
therefore, it could count as using a directive. Okay.
So
Yeah.
what did you want for the ship? Structure and con.
Engines and con, please.
Engines
Although,
and
Have we maxed out the dice pool yet?
I think we might have.
it'll be 2 off of the ship with throwing the determination in. And then if you're throwing a determination in, then yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna throw in one of these.
Legion of Honor. Woof! What the hell?
I'm gonna throw in the Starcross as well.
Well,
Okay.
just press the button and the ship just does it automatically. It's like, did you mean this, Commander?
I think the ship just asked a question for you, Captain. You
Gain
want
sentience.
space?
Oh ho 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 ho!
Oh,
Right. Okay.
I don't
There's-
think 4 was ridiculous for this crew.
We've got enough successes we can ask the GM a question, can't we?
And there's an additional 2 momentum from the
Yes.
Legion of Honor as well.
As if you needed it.
Has the ship actually earned a stat increase now, Captain?
It doesn't need a stat.
I mean, in some
Roll
places it
snake
really could do.
It rolled snake eyes. It doesn't need an upgrade.
Wow.
It is perfect.
Alright, so going in with shields, you burn 3 power to activate the cloak, 1 power to roll in with the ridiculous, quite frankly, con maneuver, and then an additional 3 power to deactivate the cloaking device.
And we're keeping the cloak on. He's just flying straight
Keeping
through the
the
cargo bay
cloak on.
doors. And he doesn't even know what's happened. He just flies straight through into the cargo bay doors, and then the cargo tractors lock onto
Don't
him,
worry,
and then we
we
just lift back up.
We have the B for barricade shields.
You know what? You accumulated so many successes there that I'm not even going to ask for a roll for the tractor beams to come on, because that was literally the most ridiculous maneuver, and yet it succeeded spectacularly. So it was pretty much the captain that came up with this idea, and so yeah, your two security guests, these two security attaches, Bozic and Fess, exchange something of a glance between each other as Fazanan pulls off this maneuver, and the ship just accelerates towards the atmosphere and starts aligning itself, well, pitch perfectly with Palatik's shuttle. As that occurs, I'm going to take us quickly to the Tolen system map. So the Navis maneuvers itself and basically activates its cloak. If I can find the yeah, there we are. The invisible trait. Yay. And you know what? It wouldn't be the same without the, if I can find it. That's interesting. If we don't do the cloaking sound effect. As such, we jump back to as the Navis aligns itself, a Ferengi marauder comes out from the other side of one of the moons and starts to make its way toward. It seems to be on an intercept course with the transport vessel. So, yeah.
Gun it, Keval.
Well, that's magic goes now coming in to move up.
So yeah, you can only imagine from the perspective of the Ferengi Marauder ship. The Palatik shuttle is now angling its way towards the Marauder. The Marauder is itself maneuvering itself to try and pick up the shuttle as it's going in. But from the view screen point of view, you can see as you're angled towards the atmosphere, and Palatik's shuttle just comes closer at ridiculous speeds. Nova is basically inches away from just crying out, "What?" As she's getting this really heady mix of adrenaline and whatever else you feel when you're about to do something really, really awesome and maybe a little stupid.
Dopamine.
Keval, of course, not worried at all, and is getting a dopamine kick off of this too, as the shuttle just disappears all of a sudden, and the Ferengi Marauder just kind of parks itself, and then starts doing rapid sensor pulses, because according to what they just saw, the transport shuttle just disappears, just vanishes. One can only imagine what Palatik himself thinks at this point, as he's gunning towards the Marauder, and all of a sudden he finds himself in a docking bay, in a shuttle bay.
Just pull up to the Marauder, then slowly uncloak with full weapons charge.
If that's what you want to do.
With our shields up immediately, of course. Said, "What are you doing here? This isn't your territory."
Go on, Jan.
As this maneuver was happening, Keval will just be sort of calmly explaining to the representatives exactly what they're doing, what the ship is doing. And now we're just going to intercept the shuttle, gently easing it into our docking bay while we avoid the Ferengi cruiser.
I just imagine Keval doing this, looking over his shoulder, speaking to the representatives as they're looking at him, not looking what he's doing. As his hands just dancing over the controls, he's not paying attention at all to what he's typing on this console. He's just calmly explaining this, whilst they're both going, The
entire bridge crew is just sort of like really calm, trying to give off the feeling of, this isn't anything special. Starfleet does this all the time.
Just another Tuesday.
We're just that good.
I mean, Tuesday's an off day for the Federation. It's when everything gets delivered.
Shields on the Navis are now up, and you have got a Ferengi Marauder just kind of sitting there.
Shuttle Bay 2, cargo secured.
Yeah, are we beaming up the away party while we're doing this as well? So just casually, Latude's just pressing away like.
Mm.
Boop, 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 boop.
That's the point.
Random
You got,
stuff.
Nah,
got to
we're.
instruct. Oh, sorry.
Um,
I was saying you got to instruct the security team to the cargo bay.
Pick up the most confused captive we've ever had.
At the
Sure,
moment-
there was a space here.
The away team is catching as much information as we can because we need evidence to bring to the local authorities of what's gone on.
Webby,
To
what
be
were you gonna
fair,
say?
they've eliminated the initial guards, and all the rest, Unit Hello, is just trapped in their bedrooms or something.
Webby.
So, I was just going to say is that Andrews might say, Kev, you have the con. And then just head down casually. I'm like, hello.
What? Captain? Captain? Seriously, Captain! Ray shields. Target weapons on the Ferengi ship. But don't fire yet.
Yeah, because from our point of view, they were trying to capture a Tolen transport vessel. That's piracy.
The Ferengi Marauder. Go on.
I would let rather as much as I love having Kev in the first officer position. I mean, like Keval's just chilling now. And like, would Keval like the composition?
No, Captain. After my latest faux pas with my Uchan tour, I feel I should take things easy. I might be just tempted to launch micro torpedoes or something.
I just kind of.
On the bridge.
Again, I just picture Keval just putting his hands behind his head, leaning back in his chair, going, "No, Captain, it's fine. My work here is done."
Hey, Nova!
Nevertheless, everyone just waits to see what the Ferengi Marauder does, and it sits there for a bit, does a couple of active scans of the Navis, and then slowly turns away and goes into warp.
Yeah, you better run.
What was it? One? A boss is only worth what they pay you?
And it seems he wasn't worth that much trouble, so... So, yes, it doesn't take very long for Palatique to crack. But actually, pardon me. Let me wind that back. So going down into the shuttle bay, you've got security teams there, and Palatique exits his shuttle, and just as I imagine Andrews arrives in the shuttle bay, he is being escorted towards you by a pair of security officers, and his fanged smile is somewhat sinister. I really didn't expect you to figure it all out, but you've got me and my ship, so I guess you did. How long do you think they'll hold me before I pay my way out, Starfleet? The civil war on Tolen's already coming, it's just a matter of time, and I'll play both sides with weapons and anything else they need to slaughter each other. Like rule of acquisition number 34 says, war's good for business. Who am I to argue with the rules?
I'm just checking the rules of acquisition.
That's right. Because the next one up is peace is good for business, and another one further down is sometimes randomly declare peace. It confuses the heck out of people.
How about Andrew's rule of acquisition 1, which is if you find a Ferengi annoying, punch them in the nose.
Pull his ears with your cybernetic arm.
But Captain, what if I don't have a cybernetic arm? Get one.
Or remember, never be afraid to mislabel a product. I called this one Justice.
Well,
It's a good point. It's a good job I'm not there.
okay. So thanks to your very thorough investigation and that marvelous planet pretending to be a Ferengi liquidator, followed by the most insane flight maneuver I think I've ever had the privilege to witness you guys attempt.
Suck it, Tom Paris.
Exactly. I mean, seriously, nothing Tom Paris or anyone else can do can compare to what we just witnessed.
Yep.
Right,
I mean,
found what we said was the command structure ages ago. But that's all changed now because it doesn't work anymore. Because Clot's now been promoted and Ori is higher rank.
No!
Who's a good ship?
You just see as the sort of like the not the Idris drive, the
Bifrost
Dark Matter Taurus kind of just sort of like purrs slightly.
Oh dear, your ship appears to be coming alive. It did, after all, spend a point of determination.
So the port in the cell wags in happiness.
Right.
Schrodinger left the cell.
Well, unless you guys have got anything you wanted to add to all of that shenanigans.
Was there anything interesting in the Ferengi's offices that we need to acquire as evidence?
Unit Hello. Unit Hello being able to crack open the security protocols and got a good look at where the money was going means that you now have solid data evidence that shows that not only was Palatique involved in the thing, he was dealing with weapons traders. So
Vibers would also like to pinch the Ferengi's phone book.
Yeah.
Communication logs.
I'd like his contact list. Some of these people might be useful later.
God.
Okay. Oh, very well. Noted.
Keval will suggest to the separatist representative, if you do separate from the Federation, I suggest you implement some severe anti-terrorism laws under which you can charge this Ferengi.
That's not the worst idea I've heard. Thank you,
I hear
Commander.
Ferengis really love having their ears stretched.
I will also bear that in mind, Captain. And on behalf of the Separatist government, I would like to say thank you for allowing my, and she looks over at Bozic, colleague, and I the privilege of watching you people work. It's been, she looks over at Keval, an experience.
Only on a Tuesday.
Well, it helps if you've got the right tools and the right colleagues.
She looks over at Bozic at this. It was good to work with you, Specialist. Bozic looks like he's not... His attitude at first was very much a case of all separatists are scum. But working with you guys, working with Fess as well, at the same time, the empaths and telepaths get a very strong sense of this attitude having mellowed a lot. And it's now replaced with a good deal of respect for both yourselves and Fess. I agree, says Bozic. Thank you, Captain and crew. This has been eye-opening. Maybe a little pants-wetting, too.
What's that?
I have to say, I think the
There you are.
Paratique's voice is really the opposite. He's provided you with a common adversary, so you're able to see your own strength and the value of working together.
I agree. I hope we get to work together again, Operative Fess. Well, she says. Let's
What
just
is that?
say that we've now got some extra reasons, as the lieutenant just noted, to combine over something. To join over something. It could be the first step. So, with that in mind, unless there's anything else... Okay. You get a message from Command giving you very much a well done on your task of protecting the conference, but also in what you've done here to cement at least a working relationship between the two factions. It's still unclear as to where the Tolen people will go, which in its own way is unfortunate in the current climate, what with tensions with the Dominion being what it is. You could certainly use a new ally, or not so much a new ally so much as that it would be nice to know whether or not the Tolen people are still going to be able to supply their dilithium as a member state of the Federation. But also, if things do kick off with the Dominion, then separating from the Federation would protect them, so it's a bit difficult to tell which one brings the biggest advantage. Certainly for the Tolen people, but for the Federation at least it would be good to know if these guys were still very much on your side. But you've at least seemed to have cemented that their attitude is, at least in regards to yourselves, Starfleet may not, and the Federation may not be so bad after all. So, who knows? Good things may well prevail in the future. And you managed to unearth a plot. So, yes, congratulations. You have successfully navigated this delicate situation. And that brings us to the end of this episode. So, as per usual, we will have our between-episode break next week, which means that the next time we will be assembling will hopefully be in 2 weeks' time, the 16th of July.
Oh,
Cool.
Yep, sounds good.
Should be fine.
Excellent. In that case then, the usual thing of acclaim and milestones I will deal with appropriately, and I will get to you either tomorrow, more than likely tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to say thank you to everybody who tuned into the stream today. I hope you all enjoyed it, particularly that ridiculous maneuver at the very end that they pulled. That's going to live on in my brain for a long time.
Is that the sort of moment that you live for as a DM?
Yes, and well, absolutely. That was astounding, and the sheer level of successes that accrued at the end there, you cannot argue with the numbers.
If only we'd had some holo projectors in the docking bay to make him think he's disembarking on some other ship.
He's actually managed to make it to the Ferengi Marauder. Nevertheless, good grief. So yes, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I hope you found that was awe-inspiring as I did. But yes, we should be back with more episodes another episode in 2 weeks' time. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it enough, please do let us know by giving us a like and the appropriate button. And because we post infrequently due to the between episode breaks, then hit the subscribe button and select all for notifications, because the algorithm doesn't always favor us. So if you do want to find out when we do drop videos, please select all. Get notified for everything on the off chance you give the algorithm an excuse to not show our content. As much as we may love and loathe our master, the algorithm, or say it with me, all hail the algorithm. Thank you very much, my dudes. Thank you, as usual, to my players for being awesome. And for everybody who followed along with us, I will ask you to do like the Vulcans do, which in this case is live long and prosper. And, yeah, pull off ridiculous maneuvers like that if you can do it. Because, hell, why not?
The Vulcans couldn't pull off something like that.
Well, no, in this case, do like the Andorian did.
So, remember, kids, we are trained professionals.
Yes.
Don't try this at home.
Despite how it appears.
Yes, thank you, everybody. And remember to engage in infinite diversity and infinite combinations. This world continues to be crazy. I mean, hell, Trump may very well get back in. So,
Yeah.
who knows
You
what's
heard
going
what
to
the Supreme
happen?
Court did, right?
Let's not think about that future.
Hey, you heard about what our Supreme Court did?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
The less said about that, the better. But before we drag that conversation out into the stream, let's say thank you very much for pray for our American friends.
Yeah.
We will see you when we stream next. Thank you very much, folks. We will now close our hailing frequencies. Take care.